Sorry, what the f*** is Allsvenskan? Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of What the Fuck is Allsvenskan. Joining us today is the return of the one, the only. It's Neil Cook, everybody.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. The show sucked without me, didn't it? Let's be honest about it. It's terrible. Wouldn't even bother listening to that if I was anyone out there. Just don't bother.
So what? Your recommendation is to skip the midweek episode.
Yeah, terrible. No, I'm only joking, guys. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Cheers,
We
mate.
did miss you, though. I definitely did miss you. It was
me too, actually.
wasn't quite as fun to sort of rip at you when you went there.
I suppose once you have a threesome, it's not quite the same going back to just two in the bed, is it?
Oh, your current wife is going to love that comment.
I heard she got
And
a
also
mention.
joining
In
us-
this one.
Say that again.
I heard she got a mention in the last episode.
Wow, she's very popular with this podcast, not only by you, Neil. Anyway, and also joining us today is the newest member of the Bromma Boys Ultras. It's Mike Woodfine, everyone.
Moshning Koshning.
Oh,
Koshning. Where have you called that one from?
Probably from my days back at the post office.
That
Do
is,
people see this? This is new on me.
Have you not heard this? I've heard it, and it doesn't make any sense. It's almost as bad as the yes box thing that they do.
Ooh, that irritates the hell out of me. It's only ever sales people that say it as well.
Yeah, awful.
Yes, box.
Okay. Moshning, Koshning, Mike Woodfine, welcome to the show. Yeah, Neil, we definitely did miss you. And luckily, while you were away, Arsenal slipped to second in the league. So we didn't have to deal with that. We've now recovered from it. So there's no point saying anything because we've accepted our fate. Have you, as a Tottenham fan, found any solace of joy in your 1-0 victory to Crystal Palace?
It was glorious.
It was awful, wasn't it? Let's be honest. But anyway, I'm glad it's restored some sort of daylight into your life, which is great news.
Got plenty of daylight.
So let's kick off the show with everybody's highlight of the week. And I know we're all looking forward to this. Mike, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we obviously went to the Bromma Göteborg game this week. And my highlight of the week is sneaking past those castle guards. And finally, after 7 weeks, getting to see the bouncy castle in the flesh. Although it was like deflated by the time I got there, but still, it was.
Did you try and jump on it at any point?
No, I lay on it. That's what I did.
Yeah, but I mean, like when it was inflated, surely that was your first port of call.
I mean, we tried, but there were about 40,000 kids from various Bromma Poikina age group teams that were having a right old laugh on it. So, yeah,
and the security, they were tough.
Okay.
Heavy security. Heavy.
Was it a no shoe situation?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, no trainers.
But do you know what? It was sensational to see it in real life. And there were moments in the game where, spoiler alert, it was quite boring. So I was definitely watching the bounce castle, a little bit here and there, just to make sure it was all right. And I wanted to see if Oscar Lanier had sort of snuck out and gone for a little bounce at half time. But no, he seems to be.
Maybe he's the one who deflated it.
Potentially.
Maybe he deflated it at the end because he didn't get it. Yeah. He just popped it.
Yeah, well, I can jump on the back of that because my highlight of the week was sort of linked to that game. Obviously, yeah, as we said, you and I went to the Bromma Poikina Gothenburg extravaganza on Monday night. And my highlight of the week, and honestly, thank you to whoever you are. As soon as I got out of my car, I was wearing one of our hoodies, which is the What the Fuck is Allsvenskan hoodie. And I was walking down the street and I took about 10 steps and some guy cycled past and went, "Oh, I love your podcast." And I was like, "Thanks, mate." Luckily, he cycled off because he didn't see the tears rolling down my eyes. Tears of joy, of course. No, but that was an awesome moment. So whoever you are, Mr. Man on the bike in Bromma, we appreciate you, and thanks for listening to the show. So that was my highlight of the week. Neil, what about you?
Well, I've got a few things to talk about here.
Oh no.
One, remember a couple of weeks ago? I'm going to stick to my non-football highlight and football highlight. I'm sticking with it, even if I've been told not to. You remember a couple of weeks ago, I was really chuffed that I did a bunny hop on a mountain bike.
Yeah.
I did almost die on a mountain bike
no.
this week.
Neil.
How did that?
Well,
What did you do?
I went for a bit of a trail ride with my slightly more experienced friend and decided that I would try and go just as quickly as he was going.
Did he take you down the dirt track?
He took me down the dirt track. That's one. I don't want to say that. Anyway. I felt.
Oh, sorry. Just ruined the podcast.
Yeah, I felt dirty at the end of it. I know that. But anyway, like the inexperienced idiot that I am, I decided to try and go as fast as him downhill on a trail. And you know those YouTube videos of like fails of the week, and you're just watching people do really stupid stuff.
Oh, why wasn't I there to see this?
That was basically me. I basically went on a fly lesson over the sort of edge of a ridge and landed in some field with a mountain bike on top of me.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I'm not. I would estimate I was probably doing like 30 kilometers an hour downhill on a trail, and I just flew off an edge.
Oh my god! I just had to mute my mic because I was having a coughing fit. Tears are definitely running down my face. I could just see.
Yeah. So, and some people might be thinking, "Why is this a highlight of the week?" And I'm alive. That's why it's a highlight of my week. I'm celebrating life.
We're going to have to put like a clause in your contract for the show that you can't go mountain biking with Renato because otherwise we might lose you, and then it might actually be me and Mike on our own. And as much fun as it was to talk behind your back, we did miss you. We might have to renegotiate your contract now.
I'm currently planning a mountain biking downhill trip to Aura, so I might have to cancel that.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
But anyway,
we might
it's going to be a lawyer situation soon.
Yeah.
Because, he broke his leg downhill skiing. But they didn't put that in his contract. So good thought there, Andy. We need to get that written down.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. We don't mess about in this show.
Go. But actually, I'm going to go with my Allsvenskan highlight. So we're used to fairly weak Allsvenskan links. So my Allsvenskan highlight of the week is that John Guidetti he's had a rough season so far. I think we can all admit that.
It's an understatement, but yeah.
But he can be quite happy this week.
Oh yeah,
because as a former Manchester City player,
oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I knew this was coming.
He can be quite happy sitting top of the league as Arsenal collapse. Just to notify the event, I've worn all black today to sort of reminisce and sort of show my respects to Arsenal's title challenge, which has severely passed by.
Oh dear,
for everyone. So yeah, I've had a good week.
God.
I should have known, like giving Neil like a week off to think about these kind of things is not good. It's not good.
I made a rod moan Mike there as well.
Right, how are you feeling about a 2-man show, Mike?
It's actually looking better by the second. Yeah,
it is, isn't it? It's looking glorious.
Go on that downhill skiing, downhill bike trail ride in Aura if you want. Go on, mate. Have fun. Have a good time.
This is true.
Go as fast as you can.
Right, let's move on from that rubbish. Awful link there. But I guess Mike did it. So, touche. Let's move on to the the Bromma Boys Gothenburg game. As Mike said earlier, we had the absolute pleasure of going to the mighty Grimster IP, which is a uniquely intimidating ground. Well, not really. To watch this game. Now, okay, positives, man on the bike. What a hero. Positive number 2, sunshine. Glorious sunshine. So yeah, when we got there, this was set up for a fantastic experience. I was pumped. And then when we got there, we sort of realized that Mike and I were the only people not under 9 or over 65.
Yeah, see,
that weren't
I had down
parents
that
of the kids.
the fans were either 75 or between the ages of 7 and 5.
Right, yeah, that's pretty much spot on. It was so okay. Obviously, it's very easy to poke fun, but my genuine impression from this game is it was really charming. Like there was such a it felt like we were going back to grassroots football. Walking up to the stadium, you see the players through the stadium having a kickabout. You see the bouncy castle and the hot dog stands, and there's pictures around it. It felt very grassroots, and actually, I quite like that. And you and I were, we were getting a little bit giggly at the start. We're like, oh, this is fun. It's unlike anything that I've experienced for a long time. So yeah, I was impressed.
It reminded me of sort of like the Hampshire Cup youth final, which and it was just like it was like a family day out sort of thing. It didn't seem like this is the top tier of Swedish football, but again, as you said, it had a certain charm to it, and I think like for families, if they want to take their kids to the game and whatever, it's a perfect place to go. Really?
Yeah. So when we talked about the tickets, you said you'd booked tickets in the loud section of the stadium.
Yeah.
As opposed to what?
Do you know what? I think the loud section just meant kids with flags. I don't know, because honestly, I thought I'd booked like a front row tickets as well. I was like, oh, this is gonna be quite nice. We're gonna sit at the front row, and then we sat there at the front row, and then we were like, oh, okay, this is not where we should be sitting. And if you watch it on TV, you can actually see us every 10 minutes moving a row back, like
no way.
I think we finished on like the 5th or 6th row because we're like, oh, let's just keep going back. We shouldn't be down there.
Hilarious. Yeah, because I was excited about sitting pitch side, but I didn't realize sitting pitch side meant having like about 40 kids waving flags in your face and standing on the seats and drinking Fanta.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. We moved back a few rows and we sat next to the old guard of Bromma Poikina fans, who were particularly entertaining to listen to during the game. There was some sensational tactical comments coming out from behind us, none of which it would actually ever be implemented in a professional football game. But yeah, it was an experience. It was an experience. Shout out though to the Gothenburg fans because they were brilliant. They were on the other side of the pitch. They got to stand in the sunshine. We sat in the shadows, unfortunately, but they were brilliant. They were beating their drums, singing the entire way through. It's pretty clear that a lot of people from Gothenburg have moved to Stockholm. There were an awful lot of people there, and yeah, they really made a great atmosphere, singing throughout the entire game. Although they were drowned out by the shouts of beer, 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 from like 14, 10-year-olds, which come up every now and then. But
so
yeah,
I've got a new chant that they should sing. I've been thinking, I've got a new chant that they should sing. Yeah, because I've looked it up on Wikipedia. Yeah, for Bromma. They're Europe's biggest football club, according to their Wikipedia, with most registered players in most teams. So, I mean, here's an idea for a chant for them that they can sing at their home games is, biggest club in Europe, you'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. Largest football in Europe, you'll never sing.
Mike, Obviously, these kids are Swedish, so I'm thinking, what would that song be directly translated? Go ahead.
Jag kan inte prata så mycket svenska nu. Jag är inte åker. Jag är trött.
Oh my god!
How many years in Sweden is it now?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see if anybody slides into our DMs and guesses how long Mike's been in Sweden based on that.
It would just be what största klubben I Europe. That's it, isn't it?
No,
And
it doesn't have quite the same.
Doesn't ring.
No.
I will leave it there.
Good.
Sorry, Mike.
Sorry,
Dropped you in the deep end, really, didn't I?
Yeah, because you have feelings. Yeah, sure.
Anyway. I barely remember that I've done it already. So.
Oh dear. But okay, a little bit about the football then. Neil, you watched it from the telly, and I think you had a bit of a different experience to me and Mike, because when we were talking afterwards, me and Mike were basically saying it was pretty poor from a spectacle perspective, but you quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was good fun. But am I going to talk about it, or do you want me to talk only 10 words about it?
Oh my god, I've forgotten about the 10 word or less review. Oh no. Okay, wow. This is.
I was actually kind of hoping. I was hoping you actually kept on forgetting.
Oh,
it looks like Neil's got a good one here. He's
no. Yeah, he looks worryingly happy. It looks like Spurs didn't throw away a lead. Okay, yeah. Well, all right. I can't do the epic music because you're here and you just moan about
Dad's
it.
back.
So everyone listening, just think about epic music in your head, and let's go in to the 10 word or less review. Mike, I'm gonna let you go first because Neil looks worryingly smug.
Okay, well, this is very Neil Cook inspired. You could say it's Cookian in the approach I've had for this. I've gone boring match, awful curve, great day out.
Oh, that's brilliant. That is a Neil Cook review. I mean, like we said on last week's episode, if he was to review every game, it would be something along those lines. So yeah, boring game.
Say that.
Awful curve, great day out. Love it.
But honestly, it was one of the worst hot dogs I've ever had. But at 15 krona, you can't complain. We'll put a pic on the Instagram of it. It was
Was it Janna's Korv?
If it was, I've got to have some serious words of that guy.
Do you know what's quite tragic? I haven't tried one yet. Like, we definitely have to do that. Just do a barbecue with Janna's sausage.
Definitely.
Yeah, careful. Great. Good start, Mike. Neil, let's see. Can you top that?
But wait, one second. Like, you played that music and then you joked that I would be like listening to that going, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, when that music started playing and I was listening to the episode, I went, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what is it? Like it was just full on. You said I would feel that way, and I felt that way. And then Mike's 10 words or less was last. And I was like, and no, the best bit is still to come. Brother Andy, brilliant. That's brilliant. That's what he responded. He was like, brilliant, Mike. I was like, what are you talking about? So I've got 2 reviews for the week in 10 words or less now, and you can choose. And you can choose which one you want, because apparently Andy's taste is quite bizarre. So my first one is wakey, 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 waker, wakey, wake, because apparently that's brilliant. That's review number 1.
It's genius.
That was great. That was really good. That's great.
Yeah, can I just say, on par with Mike's last review, right?
That was brilliant.
But my real review was Pettersson's form, more highs and lows than a bouncy castle.
Oh, sorry. That is absolutely
Mm-hmm.
sensational. See, Neil, when you put your mind to it, look what you can come up with.
I
You should
put
be
my
proud
mind
of
to it every
yourself, mate.
week, and you keep giving the points to Mike.
See, when we motivate you like this, we
See, we've brought
We
the
get you.
best out of you, Neil.
Mm.
Mate,
You should thank us.
I don't know what I'm doing
mean,
here.
okay, do you know what? That was good. That was actually genuinely good. And the points this week go to Neil. Congratulations, Neil.
Well
Well
thank
done,
you.
Neil.
You're now in the
Really-
lead.
I'm going to give it to Mike for a second. I really thought you were going to do it.
I was
Okay.
tempted, but yeah, no, even I'm not that mean. But yeah, congrats. All right, 10 words or less review. So Neil, do you want to, smoothly transition from your review into the actual thoughts on the game? You pointed out Pettersson as
You can't hit a barn door with a banjo, can he?
Oh, mate, I tell
Some
you,
days.
Mhm.
some of the
And he's a
misses
penalty taker. I wouldn't trust him.
Mm.
some of the misses were bad in real life, and then 20 times worse when I watched the highlights on TV. So yeah, that was it wasn't great. Although he's by far and away their best player and super.
No, he
dangerous.
isn't. No, he isn't.
Yes. Well, who? Okay, who is another player on Bromma Poikina then, Neil?
Waker.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. And I was like, oh, this is a young gun coming through. How old do you think he is? Anyone know?
33.
With
What?
that clue, I'm going to go 24.
Oh, see, Mike, you're just guessing old. He's 29. And I just looked at him and went, no, you're not.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that.
29. Yeah.
Was
but
he
he's
the
been
guy,
all.
Mike?
He's
Mike,
been
was he
around a bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I mentioned him actually when we were watching because he seemed to be playing inverted fullback pretty much
He
most
was
of the
all
game.
over the place. He was all. He
Yeah.
was playing. Really like almost as a number 10 at certain points.
Mm.
But yeah, he's travelled around a bit. I think he was in Portugal at one point playing his football.
All right.
And he's
maybe that's
returned to
why-
Bromma Poikina.
Yeah, maybe that's why Bromma Poikina are doing so well. They've taken a leaf out of who was it in the Premier League that just started this chaos formation with Lundstrom when they sort of had the two centre
Sheffield
mids and the drop.
United.
Sheffield United, that was the one where they started. They played three at the back, and then their two centre mids would drop into the back and make a back five when they were defending. And they were brilliant the first season. Then they got found out and they got smashed and relegated. But it feels like Bromma Poikina are like surprising people because they were by far the better team yesterday.
They controlled the midfield. They really did, especially with their fullbacks coming in. Jensen on the other side as well.
Yeah,
And
Jensen was brilliant,
Gothenburg,
actually, to be fair.
Yeah, as we've been saying about them is last week we were saying they kept the ball on the floor a little bit more, played through Hagen and that. This week they couldn't get to him and they went back to their sort of launching long balls to Berg and Norlin, and Berg was so much slower in real life than he is on the TV, and on the TV he looks horribly slow as well. It was painful watching him run.
Yeah, but it felt like Bromma Poikina just created a goal chance every time they felt like it. They came into a shot so often. I looked at the stats and it says they only took 18 shots, but it felt like a lot more than that when I was watching the game.
Yeah, still that's quite an amount, and I think it was Vasic went for 3 bicycle kicks as well.
Okay.
Oh, sensational!
But what's he doing? He should
headband
be
count,
using his head. Headband count was 6 by the end of the match.
6,
so quite high.
It's a strong headband count for a game.
But
it was
on Vasic a second. He reminds me a lot of a first season Arsenal Olivier Giroud, just constantly going for the spectacular, decent holding up the ball, but he just he needs to learn when to go for the bicycle kick and when just to knock it in, because he had so many chances like that.
Yeah, no. It was weird because, 0-0, Bromma probably were the better team, but Gothenburg probably should have won. Did you guys see the penalty shout? So when
and I loved
it was
it
live,
because in the crowd. Should I go?
As I say, when it was live, we barely noticed it was a penalty shout. The Gothenburg fans were far too busy singing one of their songs. Nobody from Bromma really said anything, and the only thing me and you noticed was Norlin on the floor, like having the biggest tantrum that I've ever seen a footballer throw on a football pitch. It was absolutely ridiculous. He was like my 2-year-old son would be proud of that. But yeah, it was, and
Wait, you've
we
got a
both looked at
2-year-old
each other
son?
and oh yeah, surprise. No, me and you both looked at each other, and yeah, we were like, what's going on? I watched the highlights, and for me, that's a clear-cut penalty. So yeah, I would understand if Gothenburg would feel a little bit hard done by, but they didn't really deserve to win because I mean,
They were nothing short of shit, were they, Gothenburg?
Yeah, they were dreadful. But with the penalty shout, it was funny, the reaction around us in the crowd. Actually, everyone was just laughing at him when he was punching the floor, and I was thinking, yeah, this is proper football.
Yeah.
Like the loudest point they were in the whole match, the Bromma fans, was laughing at a man having a tantrum on the floor. So yeah, well done.
Did it remind you a bit of like Paolo Di Canio, sort of?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh,
love
what a
that.
Legend.
Can someone explain to me the manager situation at Gothenburg?
Watching them on TV.
No, wait. I think you need to explain this.
Them.
You said watching them.
Yeah, this is the point.
What is going on?
There's two managers, I think, but they both introduce themselves as the manager, and they're both introduced as the manager. So they'll be like, before the game, oh, we're talking to Gothenburg manager, this guy. And then half time, oh, we're talking to the Gothenburg manager, and it's another guy.
Yeah. So I looked on the Gothenburg, because I had to sort of try and work this out. I looked on their like homepage to try and suss out what is going on. And they are both listed as the huvudtränare. So that's Alexander Tengrid and William Lundin. But I don't really understand, like, do they not trust one of them enough to give one of them the job? What's the deal?
But for me, this is ultimate Swedish flat hierarchy at its finest. It's like, oh, we don't want to upset one person, so let's make them both managers, and everybody will listen to each other. Could you imagine doing that in England, having two bosses? It would be, it'd be raucous. You'd be.
How do you even make a substitution? How do you make a substitution? Do you have to go and consult every time you want to make a decision on there? How does that work? Like,
well,
what a mess. Is this the first time they've done it, though?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I have no recollection.
They did sack their manager in preseason, and I think they've just put these guys in now. They don't really know what to do because the results aren't going well. Surely they should. I assume these guys were coaches beforehand, so maybe just get a manager in who knows what they're doing.
I think I looked up Tengrid a little bit, and I couldn't see any sort of qualifications for it. He was an ex-player as such. I haven't looked up the other fella, Lundin.
Yeah.
But I don't
think
really
for
understand.
a club the size of Gothenburg, you would think that it's 7 rounds into the season now. It's probably time to actually establish a future pattern, unless they're just going to keep these two and roll with the punches and see what happens. But
okay, and so we're going to end this section on Bromma Gothenburg with a little quiz. Oh, Neil's just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't want to do quizzes. I'm not like I've got a grey beard and I've got like the memory of and retention of someone with Alzheimer's. Like, that's where I'm at. Okay,
I think we should definitely do this quiz. I like my chances after that. Go on then, Mike.
Yeah. Photographic memory, Andy, brilliant. even if I got a cheat card before the quizzes, Andy would still win. That's how bad my memory is.
I think you beat him on the pre-season quiz, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is similar to that Mikael Lustig question. This is going to be like a bidding.
I can see Neil Googling, by the way, while you're talking, Mike.
Well, so we watched the Bromma game. Olaf Melbury, he's played for 8 clubs. I want you to tell me how many of those you could name. And I'm going to ask how many of them you're going to bid. So I'm going to start with you, Andy, and then I'm going to ask Neil. Don't name them yet, just bid how many you think.
3.
Okay. And Neil?
Am I allowed some thinking time?
No, you're not allowed to
we give you
Google,
10
Neil.
seconds.
I think Googling should be perfectly allowed.
3, 2, 1.
3. I
Time's
can do 3, but that means I'm not allowed to do it. So I'm going to say 4.
Okay, so you said
all
4. All right, so you're going to have to go first.
But is
Boy.
Andy going to try and outbid me again?
If Andy,
No.
do you want to outbid him?
No,
I sort of saw that
I
look in
don't
your
think-
eyes.
He's not got
don't
4
wanna?
names in him. He doesn't know the names of anyone that lives in his house, let alone 4 Olaf Melberg clubs.
Okay, I feel
have
like
at
he's,
it, mate.
he's
Have
bluffing
at
you
it.
here. He's bluffing you. Can you
Have
not see
at
it in
it.
his eyes? He's bluffing you.
Not a
Neil
chance.
can easily name 4.
All right. Shall I start?
Yeah, go on then.
So Aston Villa
Yep.
Ding.
and Juventus.
Correct.
Didn't think you had that one in you. All right.
And now I'm struggling.
Oh.
So I'm going to assume he's played for a Swedish club.
2 Swedish clubs.
That was what I was hoping for. All right. Thanks for the hint, though, Mike. Andy can't be loving that.
Awful.
So he is the manager of Bromma Poikana, but does that mean he ever played for him?
Come on, Neil.
So I'm going to say that he played for Icor.
Correct. Oh, he's got 3 now. Oh.
What?
And did he go up to Icor? Did he go sideways to Icor? So I'm going to say he played for someone like Norrköping.
Anytime today.
Oh no! I'm afraid not. I'm afraid
All right.
not.
Can I win it with one more
okay.
name then?
No.
No, you did. You
You
have the chance to
automatically
bid.
get the win, I think.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get the
there
win
you go.
if you can name your. Yep, and
All right.
3 has already been named, so you get the win.
Olympiacos,
But
Juventus, and Aston Villa.
Olympiacos, yeah, correct on that one.
Olympiacos. What was the other Swedish club then?
It was Degerfors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Oh,
have said
of
that.
course. No,
Mhm.
that's the last.
He also played for Villarreal and Schopenham, Copenhagen.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, on the back of that victory, let's transition into another victory for Malmö when they met AIK. Who had this game?
Me. I had the joy of watching my mighty Malmö. I still have zero connection to it. I barely even know when their games are. But I saw some of this anyway. I want to build that connection, but I just feel like it's going to take time. Anyway, Malmö won again is just getting very predictable. And now I understand why Man City fans don't turn up to the stadium anymore, because they're just like, well, we're just going to win. And that's what it is. 7 games, 7 wins for Malmö. But they did go behind.
This game was even more of a guaranteed win for Malmö, because AIK haven't beaten them at home since 1996. And half the AIK team wasn't born then. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well.
But there you go. That's how it is. But you remember you gave Cornelius, the Malmö centre back, quite a lot of credit a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like he was playing a game of Twister for the first AIK game, didn't he? AIK goal.
So clumsy.
Yeah, he got turned inside out by Farage for AIK, and then he gave a penalty away. Weirdly enough,
Farage, as in Nigel
what's his name
Farage.
Then? What's his name?
That. The anglicised version is Farage. Oh,
what's the actual pronunciation? Farage. What are we going to say?
Farage. I think.
Farage.
Oh yeah, that Farage.
Well, that Farage at AIK, he's well good, isn't he, mate?
Yeah, you can stick with Farage because that's better than Farage. That just brings back Brett nightmares.
Anyway, the AIK player that won the penalty did the controversial thing of stepping up to taking his own penalty. It was like one of these weird unwritten rules that nobody pays attention to anymore.
Yeah, Wenger was big on that.
Yeah, you don't take the penalty if you're the one fouled for the penalty. But he took up it and he scored it. That was nice enough. But then, and then Malmö decided to turn up. basically. Cisse with some good work to set up Vecchia for the first goal, and
Do you know
Nanasi
why
gets on
they
the
scored
end of
that first goal, though, Neil?
Why did they score that first goal?
Did you
Andy?
not see what
Tell me,
Farage
enlighten me.
did? I'll enlighten you. Did you not see what Farage did after he scored?
What
He
did
ran
he
up
do?
and blew kisses to the Malmo fans.
Well, I'd be trying to get a transfer to Malmo too, so that's one way to do it.
Yes.
I'll see.
Yeah.
You think they were genuine?
Definitely
Like,
what he was
I
doing.
love you guys. Please sign me.
Yeah,
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Save me.
He's got to get out of AIK somehow, hasn't he? That place is a shithole. Like, if you don't want to play there at the moment, do you? They're a proper mess of a
Get
team.
me off the sinking ship.
Yeah. Anyway, Cisse, one of the brothers, he set up Vecchia for the first goal for Malmo. Then the Nasi got on the end of a cross from Busanelos. And then, Nanasi put it through Nordfeldt's legs for the finish as well. And so all of that happened within 15 minutes, those 3 goals. But Christiansen's goal was the highlight for me. It was the best example as to why you train kids to receive the ball on the back foot.
So good.
So he's received it in the 6-yard box on the back foot and just slotted it home. It's so nice.
Sorry, are
lovely
you just
swivel
going
and
to
turn
brush
at the end of it.
over? Are you just going to brush over the real ginger from Sweden's involvement in that goal?
Well, I can't take
That
him
pass
seriously.
was naughty.
I know, but did you? I've seen him in the interview afterwards, and it genuinely looks like a 12-year-old boy is being interviewed. It's so weird. Like, I get that he's a good player, but part of me fucking hates him because he's so young and that good. Like, it just makes me feel
everything
really
you never
old.
were.
Yeah, I mean, a central midfielder was not my place to be. I got confused. Like, I got lost from like one box to the next. But yeah, no. But more Christiansen's touch and finish for me on that one. It was a good pass, but yeah, it's not an easy thing what he did. He made it look simple. But yeah, 3-1 it ended. Sure. Henrik Rydström seems quite happy with himself.
Well, 7 wins out of 7, right?
Yeah. Do you know what else is weird though? Malmo have scored 9 goals in the last 2 games, and your favourite player, old Smooches McGee, hasn't scored any of them.
I know.
Yeah, Nanasi stood up big time.
Yeah, but I think that's quite ominous for the league, isn't it? Your best goal scorer doesn't score any goals like the last 9. You're still smashing in.
Yeah, I know.
He's just
giving everyone else a time to shine. Smooches, he's just he's a team player. I love a bit of Smooches, but
I don't think he's had a drop in form. I just think Jesus, like that right. Malmo team is tough to keep up with, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And the only team that were sort of trying to keep up with them. Well, how did they get on, Mike? BK Bush.
So Häcken, they've fallen behind Malmo's pace now. So this game was a big shock. Although Halmstad have a really good home record, so they've won 3 out of their 4 games at home this season. They've beaten AIK, Djurgården, and now Häcken at home. The only team to beat them up.
Sorry, hold on. Let's not brush over that stat. They've beaten AIK, Djurgården, and Malmo. Sorry,
Häcken.
So yeah, no one beats
Häcken. Yeah.
I mean, that's some pretty serious home form right there.
Yeah, and the only team to beat them this year at home, who's that? Got any ideas?
I guess Malmo.
No, Bromma Poikina. Best club in Stockholm.
But they're below Djurgården in the league now. Old BP.
Yeah, same points. I mean, it's goal differences. Yeah. But So again, this was a big shock. Phil Osofu-Ayi scored the goal. The right back who we've spoken a bit about this season. Really decent player. Yeah, but it was an absolutely catastrophic attempt at a clearance from Hovland. It was a real Swedish cheese slicer of a shot. It puts his foot in it. Oh god!
Do you know what I thought that game? Do you know what I thought when I saw that goal? It was like, I don't know if you guys ever play golf. I haven't for many years, but when you're about to play golf and you're not very good at it, and you go to tee up and you just want to hit the ball as hard as you fucking can, and you swing and you miss, and then you sort of pretend that it was a practice shot. It was almost like he'd just gone swing, miss. Oh yeah, whoops. Yeah, I totally meant to do that, but then before he could turn around, it was in the goal. It was absolutely diabolical.
Yeah, it was like a cricket sort of like shot that goes to the wicketkeeper, and it gets like clipped and blocked and caught out. It was awful.
It was to the point where he didn't feel like he could celebrate because it blatantly wasn't his goal. Like he just sort of went,
Yeah, he just took the ball and went with it. But he did round the keeper quite well. Actually, the keeper came out and he managed to step round him, which is pretty good. But Halmstad were really well organised, and happy the Häcken had like 68% possession. They had 17 shots, but only 2 were on target. Häcken, so that's pretty poor actually, considering when they tend to hit the target, they've scored a lot of goals this season. Halmstad made 27 clearances, 6 blocks, most of which were done by the Halmstad Hummels himself, Alexander Johansson. But yeah,
the Johansson. This guy, okay. What sort of deals is he negotiating here behind the scenes? Because last week I said he reminds me of a politician. They get smashed 6-1 one week, and then the next week they beat the reigning champions quite comfortably. He's doing some Boris Johnson style dealing behind the back. It's like, oh yeah, you take the masks contract, friend. You take this contract, friend. I genuinely think he's a Tory. He's spinning his little. Anyway, sorry. Enough of the political rant. But yeah, I think he's on. I think
you
we
might
need
be onto
to check
something.
what's going on. Maybe.
Yeah, because it seems maybe he's paying off some other players to just shoot right at him because he's putting these blocks in, but it doesn't look like he's. Either he's just incredibly intelligent and knows where they're going to shoot before they even do it, but he was immense, just blocking everything. And again, the commentators were spending most of the game talking about the grass again, but I still don't get this, because does this mean that when Swedish players move to the continent and play in Europe, do they have to relearn how to play football because they're playing on grass now? This is the way the commentators are talking about it. They're like, oh, well, it confuses them. They don't know what to do. And so when they get a move to Europe, what are they doing then?
Okay, all right. I totally agree with you, but I also, just to caveat that, I played football last week Wednesday, and it was on a grass pitch, and I nearly broke my ankle like 4 times because I was not used to running over potholes. So I think a few episodes. I think a few episodes back, I definitely was on your side of the ship, Mike, and then I went and played on grass, and it was like I never played football before in my life, which was quite fun. But yeah, as a professional, you should be doing better. So that was definitely the shock of the week. Halmstad stealing a 1-0 win against BK Bush, and now Häcken are falling behind the rapid pace that Malmö are setting. And let's see if they can actually come back. 2 very winnable losses that they've got under their belts now, Häcken. While you were watching this, Mike, I had the absolute pleasure of watching the Doe Rapids versus the mighty Norrköping. Now, first of all, I'd totally forgotten how much I love this ground. Do you remember? It's got the rich man's decking and the scaffolding seats and the massive hot dog stand. It has it all. Everything you can want, except for Bouncy Castle. But, you can't have everything. So, Degerfors.
I did catch the highlights today, and I don't know if you can tell.
You ordered another McDonald's?
That gives it away.
Not a sponsor. I wish we were, though. That'd be fun.
No. It has on these.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't watch their games in the future.
Yeah, no more watching advertising boards for you, Mike, aka Degerfors's kit. Neiman, who I'm actually growing to love Neiman a little bit. He put Norrköping ahead through like a sensational header from a delightful cross from from Miss Ratti. Who has a double barrel name, of which half of it I can't pronounce. So we're going to call him Misrati. He was brilliant the whole game. But Neiman is such like a typical striker. He's like a throwback number 9. None of that false 9 bullshit with Neiman. You just stick it in the box and let him get onto it. He scored 2 goals last week, both from like, like dodgy crosses in the box and poking it home. He is the prototypical Sam Allardyce player. Big Sam would absolutely love him at Leeds. I guarantee you. Just lump balls up to him. They'd keep Leeds up for sure. But yeah, he's doing well.
I'm going to sound like Andy a little bit here.
Oh yeah.
Now, after the 5 mentions in the podcast I wasn't involved in, on FIFA. But genuinely, sometimes on FIFA, you'll do a cross, and then from absolutely miles out, you'll header it, and it will absolutely bullet into the net, and you're like, that's a glitch goal, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
That was definitely what that Neiman header reminded me of.
100%. What a sensational analogy, Neil. See, you can learn from pros like myself. just relate everything back to FIFA. Yeah. But it was. No, but that's spot on. It was exactly like that. I did not see that going in. It was, it shouldn't have gone in, but it did. It was a great header. Norrköping then extended their lead to 2-0 shortly after that. Vukojevic, sorry for murdering your name, he carelessly lost the ball in midfield. Again, Misrati with the assist, and then the superstar Sigurdsson slotted home from a tight angle. It was a nice finish, but have you seen the goal?
Yeah, I thought the keeper, it was quite slow. I thought the keeper could have moved out that way.
He dived in slow motion. Like Sigurdsson bent it into the far corner. It rolled along the ground, and it felt like he was just like slowly falling. Like, no. No, it was, I mean, it wasn't good. It should have been kept out. That's something he's going to look back on and sort of not be too happy about. But Norrköping, they look sort of good and then sort of bad. I'm not really sure what to think about them, but with Neiman and Sigurdsson, there's always goals in that club. So it'll be interesting to see how they get along. They'll be there or thereabouts. Degerfors ain't looking good for them. They didn't really have anything going in this, and it was quite a canter. Not even the cheers from the kebab shop on the corner could spur them to victory. And Norrköping went away with a 2-0 win. So, Mike, you got to watch the mighty Elfsfort in against John McEnroe FC in what turned out to be the game of the week, which unfortunately I didn't get to watch because I was too busy watching Bromma walk around the park. So tell us, how did you enjoy this spectacular match?
Okay, this was an absolutely mad game. We could have done the whole podcast on this game. So much happens.
We couldn't, though, could we, Mike? Because you bought tickets to win Match of the Week.
Hey, I had a nice time. It was a nice day out. This game, this game was mad. So just to go over it slightly, Elfsborg opened the scoring. Then it was 2-1 to Sirius at half time, and then 2-2 straight after half time. Sirius then went 3-2 up until the 87th minute, and then 2 goals in 2 minutes at the death for the Allsvenskan, and it finished 4-3 to them. They can absolutely blow teams away when they really go at it. They're a really good team, and they're second now, right, in the table. And maybe they are a team to watch this season. Somehow they only had 5 shots on target in this game. They scored 4 goals.
What?
Yeah, with an XG of 0.75.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was just clinical from them.
Some of the goals were weird though, weren't they? So Jack Cooper Love, he scored the 3rd goal in that game, didn't he, for Elfsborg to equalise in the 87th. That goal was there was a very crowded area and he sort of side-footed it into the corner. But a bit of a shout out for our English brother. Both of his parents are from Bury, but he was born in Sweden, I read on Wikipedia. So that was nice for him to get on the score sheet. First goal in the Allsvenskan, I believe.
And also nice.
Yeah, last year he scored
to Sweden.
Oh, totally. But yeah, last year he scored 14 in 27 for Skövde in the Superettan. Jack Cooper.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's only 21, so yeah, I mean, Good Johnson's their starting striker at the moment, but this guy looks lively and he's got goals in him. So it'd be good to see him. Another English player
as well.
Oh yeah. He's a unit. Yeah, another English player, well, half English player was playing in this match. Jamie Roche. He got the assist for one of their goals, and I think if AIK bought Jamie Roche, all of their problems would be solved. He is a one-man midfield. He's a brilliant defender, classy passer of the ball. But yeah, for Sirius, they're the only team now in Allsvenskan not to win. They've had difficult fixtures, as I mentioned last week, but upcoming in the next few weeks, they've got Mjällby, Halmstad, Bromma, and Värnamo. So maybe it's a good time to put some of their players in your fantasy team. Because
where did Sirius finish last season?
13th or 14th, quite low down.
Yeah,
Because I remember
one of the smallest
your point about them having you said they've had really hard fixtures this season. They've played all the teams they've played finished above them last year, and I thought, wow, that's 13 teams.
Yeah, it's like all league. So I mean, they've had tough fixtures.
They've had tough fixtures.
Yeah. See, I didn't look properly into that, and after the podcast, I was like, wait, where did they actually finish? And I had the same thought of you, and I was like, oh, because I looked into all the teams they played against, and I was like, oh, where did they finish last year? Oh, they finished above them. And then there's 16 teams in this league. I'm used to 20. It's
does that mean when a team gets promoted that every fixture is a tough one because they all finished above them the year before?
Yeah, same in the Premier.
Oh, dear.
There you go.
But I mean, spare a thought for a young King Charles. He must have been hungover from his coronation, standing in goal.
Yeah,
I think he finished
looks
with
like
a
they
foot
rushed
mob
him back.
rating of
Yeah,
he finished with a foot mob rating of 4.4 and only managed one save. So yeah, it wasn't good. I think he needs to remove the crown and actually start training football because he was not good, not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I did enjoy I did enjoy the FC John McEnroe manager channeling his inner John McEnroe through the entire game. They were two of the most animated managers I've seen in the Allsvenskan. It was quite fun. I mean, the game reflected. They lived every minute of that game.
it was a brilliant match, and also to any like non-Swedish listeners, if you want to watch a great match, I recommend finding the highlights or watching the match of this on Discovery Plus. If you put on a VPN or whatever, I'm not suggesting that.
Right, either that
because
or
this is the
Liverpool,
perfect.
Tottenham.
Because this is the perfect advertisement for Allsvenskan. It was a great match.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. For sure. You lucky boy. You. Yeah. Well, Neil, how can you follow that game? You got to watch the Animal Park Kalmar game, right?
Yeah, I watched it. It was a bit more clear cut because Djurgården went 3-0 up and then Kalmar scored a goal to come back into it. Asoro, was he not going to be your MVP this year, Andy?
Yes.
He scored another goal. Yeah. He outpaced one. He outpaced Sjöstedt. But I feel like Sjöstedt was very slow. Yeah, or not slow, but like he was with him the whole way, but decided not to put in a tackle for the shot. It felt like he wasn't quite committed enough for the cause. So that was quite weird. But then Djurgården's second goal was really bizarre. So it's probably the worst way to ever score an own goal that Asoro overhead kicks it into a Lafson's face and it bullets into the net. And it was going so wide, this overhead kick as well, and it just bullets off his face into the net.
Do you remember those like 90s DVDs you would get of like, own goals and gaffs, sort of like hosted by some sort of like, I don't know, like Danny Dye or
Jimmy
Danny
Greaves
or somebody.
Jimmy Greaves used to do it as well.
Yeah.
So
Flashback.
so that was 2-0 anyway, and then there was good work from Findell to put in. It was good work from Findell for the cross at least for for that overhead kick. It was kind of weird. He just sort of bullied the defender by shielding the ball, and the defender couldn't get around him. But the third goal was Eriksson. He put in a lovely little dinked through ball to Wickham to score the third.
It was golf chip.
That was really nice. The defenders were a little bit. Yeah, the defenders were a little bit static, but I think it was just a nice goal to watch. But has anyone seen the disallowed Rajovic goal?
Yes. And this frustrates me not just because he was in my dream team, but I don't. How? What? Why?
I've literally so basically what happens? There's a bit of a scramble in the box. The ball eventually falls to Rajovic, who's about 1 yard out, and he toe pokes it in. I've watched it 20 times, I think, and I still don't know why it's been disallowed. And that would have brought the game back to 3-1 at that point, but it was still with 35 minutes to go. I really don't know why they've disallowed it, and I think Halma fans should have a bit of a squabble, because if the Premier League hasn't taught us anything, it shows you that comebacks are possible in football, no matter what the scoreline is. Really bizarre decision by the ref, and I think if you ask the ref, he doesn't know why he's disallowed it either. I genuinely don't think he knows. I think he's got a Jurgården tattoo under that top of this. But I mean, Kalmar did reduce it.
Johansson beforehand.
Yeah, maybe
pulling the strings behind
us.
But Kalmar did reduce the score line in the end. I mean, it was on 64 minutes or somewhere around that region, so they had plenty of time to get back into it. But it was a Hummer, absolute bullet of a shot into the top corner to reduce it. It's quite an interesting few goals, and have a look at that disallowed one. If anyone can enlighten us on why it was disallowed, that'd be great, because I can't see it.
Honestly, ridiculous. Still don't know. Let's see if anyone can.
But 3-1 Djurgården. Good win.
Decent. Are they? So Djurgården, who are they? Do we know yet?
Jekyll and Hyde.
Next week they're shit. Yeah, it's interesting. Really interesting.
They've got a lot of potential. That's for sure.
Yeah, true. Did you guys see what happened at the end of the game? So Tommy Vaya, the Animal Park goalkeeper, slapped 7 shades of shit out the cameraman when they had their little end of game circle time. You know, they had a lovely little gather round and a cuddle. They were going to have a little talk, and the nosy Discovery Plus cameraman went and was like, "Ooh, let's see what's going on here," and tried to put his camera right in the middle of the circle while they were busy telling secrets to each other. And Tommy Via's just whacked the camera, and it's so funny because you literally see the camera spin round, and then half the face of the actual cameraman. You can see that he's totally shocked. But yeah, Tommy Via, don't mess with him. Secret time is for Animal Park players only. Nobody go near their little circle, all right? Take that as a warning. Tommy Via's got your number, mate.
There you go.
Well, there was there were 2 other games this week, and they're actually been going on while we've been recording this delicious podcast. I watched the first half of the Hammarby game because, I'm just committed to the cause. Although I kind of wish I hadn't, because it was absolutely awful. Hammarby were missing 8 players, including our favourite right back, Simon Beach. But yeah, it didn't look great. However, I'm going to say it one more time because I still think it's unreal. The intro song for Hammarby is the best intro song in world football, right? And I know people are going to be like, "Oh, well, what about You Never Walk Alone?" Yeah, that's good. But the difference is the Hammarby fans actually carry on singing in the rest of the game, whereas Liverpool fans sort of just stop after that. I convince me otherwise. It is unreal. I got goosebumps, and not just because of the green lighting in the background of this podcast. The Dandruff Village started with a double Gustafsson pairing in midfield, and there were also 2 Fengers on the pitch, so good luck to the commentary team there. The first half was absolutely awful, and nothing happened. Hammarby passed the ball around with no real threat, and when Mjällby got the ball, they lumped it up and hoped for the best. So, Mike, second place prediction from Mjällby. How are you feeling about that? Because the match finished 0-0, which is actually a decent result for them. away to Hammarby.
Mhm.
But yeah, you still think they're coming second?
So it's another 0-0, and they're still, as I said last week, they're just chilling. They're just taking it easy. They've got Häcken coming up. I mean, 0-0 against Hammarby. Take it easy as you like. Don't exert yourself, lads. It's only Hammarby.
Is it time for Hammarby to be a bit worried, though? They've got 1 win in 5 games, currently speaking.
It is. I have a lot of friends that support Hammarby, and I was chatting to a few of them at the when I was coaching football the other day, and one of them he goes to like every game, and he was furious about what's been going on. And Mikkelsen, who is their sort of big money signing, he always looks like he's about to do something, and then he never does anything. He's like, wait, look at this. Ah, gotcha there. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to kick the ball out of touch. Wait.
Like they sort of,
look at this. Ah, gotcha again. He's like
those Turkish ice cream men that go viral on Instagram.
He's the Turkish ice cream man.
Give you the cone, and then it's.
You never get that blood ice cream.
Yeah, and the Hammarby fans are the fat kid who really wants his ice cream, and they're just like, please do something. Oh, but he's so frustrating because he's the player that would get off the bus and you'd be like, right, we got to watch out for him. He's got a headband, he's got, I think, pink boots. He looks like he's got something about him, and he's done absolutely nothing. And he doesn't look like he's going to cut it in this league. I'd be happy to be proved wrong, but 0-0 against Mjällby kind of says otherwise. I can't tell you what happened in the second half, but I guess nothing happened because it was 0-0. There was another game going on, and this game we didn't even think about reviewing. I don't know why, because it was the mighty Värnamo against Varberg's boys. Has anyone seen the result?
3-1 to the home team.
Värnamo, I see. A double for...
you liked them though, didn't you, Andy?
I don't know. I like I say, I've got a soft spot for teams that play good football, and I like the way they operate. They definitely don't have the talent of sort of most of the teams in the top half of the Allsvenskan, but they've got a great philosophy, and I think it's nice to see. So
I'm looking at the stats though. It looks like they've got away with one.
Oh, really?
12 shots for Värnamo, 17 for Varberg's boys, and then Värnamo had 40% possession, which is quite low.
Oy.
But yeah, I haven't seen the game, but it looks like they've got away with one from that.
See, grinding them out. But yeah, Varberg's boys, it's not looking great for them. I'm not sure how much of the boys we're going to be able to watch next year because they look like they're heading for Superettan alongside Häck and Gothenburg. All right, Mike?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, that wraps up the week's results. Let's move on to next week and let's discuss what game we are going to be putting in our crosshairs for our game of the week next week. Mike, do you want to kick us off? What left field madness have you pulled out for us?
Well, this is a classic relegation 6-pointer on your hands here. You got AIK versus Gothenburg.
Oh,
I mean, yeah. Whoever wins this inflicts so much misery on the other team that it's the motivation is going to be massive.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my pick for next week.
I mean, that is a sensational pick. Neil, can you possibly top that?
I don't know. I mean, that is a really, really good pick, Mike. And do you know what? Like, if you hadn't bent the rules on how to win a contest last week, then I might have let you get away with it. But what's actually happened is that you've shown me how to win every week. And given that your financial status is not as good as my financial status, I'm just going to buy tickets every week. So this week, we're going to Hammarby Djurgården. And you're just going to have to suck it up, Mike. I win again. So
Neil wins again.
Thanks for the ticket, mate. Brilliant.
Yeah, whatever. As long as I win, I don't mind.
Oh,
we both win here.
I forgot it was the first, one of the bigger Stockholm derbies this weekend. Hammarby Djurgården. What a great pick, Neil.
They share an arena. But it's Hammarby's home game. So this is a real feisty one. So it should be fun.
Which end are we in?
Love it.
We're
Love it.
in there with the home fans. In with the home fans.
Oh,
Nice.
there you go, Andy.
Good.
I should have
good.
done it the other way around, though.
Hello.
You've said that, and I'm regretting it. I should have put that green
good.
little leprechaun in with the Djurgården fan, shouldn't I?
This is brilliant. Should we do a little bit of like pre-match interviewing people outside the ground and see how they feel about this? I think.
Yeah, definitely. Let's say if any listeners that are going to this match, drop us a DM on the Instagram. Andy will get back to you, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Andy will be wearing his what the fuck is Allsvenskan hoodie. You can't miss him because he was built from giant's blood. So if anyone sees him, just hook him to one side and we'll have a little chat.
That sounds great. Let's do it. Oh, I'm super excited. This might be my the week I'm looking forward to most. That is a juicy game. I've heard from various people that this is the derby with the most hatred in. So let's see if we can feel that as we walk around the ground dressed in green. Yeah, great. Neil, 2-0 this week. Sensational comeback.
Yeah.
Tells you what a week of rest will do for an old man like you. Congratulations, Mike. You have been absolutely defeated. And well, that wraps up this delightful week of Allsvenskan football, where we got the pleasure of sitting at Grimsta IP and watching the mighty Bromma boys battle to a 0-0 draw against Gothenburg. Neil is back and took a clean sweep of the victories this week. And next week, we're going to Hammarby Djurgården. Let's have a fantastic week, everyone. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Ooh.